what's up? It's StephThirdy. I'm sinking in, man. I wanted to give a quick re- a review and an objective review on a movie Ma. Um, seen it about 2 weeks ago, and I've been holding on to it for a little while, but I definitely want to get this out. So uh, let's see how it goes. I'm going to start off by giving a small overview, like about what the movie is about, and then from there. I'm going to give my objective perspective on the movie and the situation. So here we go. So Ma is a psychological thriller that takes place in small town Ohio about a woman nicknamed Ma. Her name being that because she hosts parties for high school teenagers. The main character and her group of friends get introduced to Ma while waiting outside of a liquor store, attempting to get somebody to buy liquor for them, since they were underage.
Okay, they didn't have whatever Fireball is, so I got Aftershock. Man said it's the same thing. This never happened.
From there, they begin drinking at Ma's house and later attending teenage parties hosted by Ma. Throughout the movie, Ma's plans for the kids slowly comes to light, and it's revealed in a flashback scene of Ma in high school, where we can see Ma wasn't the most popular kid in school.
Why are you sitting down? Why aren't you up dance with everyone?
Oh. Well, I guess I was explaining to you.
Oh, okay. So you're not good at a lot of parties.
Oh, no. I go to a lot of.
She also seemed like she was the only black kid in her school. I just wanted to throw that in there just in case it supports my stance here. She was noticeably shy and seemed a bit fragile, and she wound up having a cruel prank played on her where she was tricked into go into a dark closet with the guy she thought liked her to hook up, and only to find out once she left the closet, there was a bunch of kids standing outside in the hallway laughing at her, including the guy she thought she was in the closet with.
Was I good?
Yeah.
And are you gonna talk to me tomorrow?
Let's get out of here.
Okay. Ben?
Surprise! Oh God, that took forever. So, how was she?
Ma essentially became stuck in that moment in time throughout her life, and it all comes to light that everything she's doing in the present is part of a plot for revenge, which happens to include becoming a cool kid that knows how to party. Some of the kids the movie is centered around, including the main character, are children of people that assisted with the prank or just didn't have Ma's back. So she gets a little revenge by the end of the movie, taking out a few of the parents, but ultimately she winds up dying at the end of the movie via fire. Okay, so instead of explaining the entire movie plot in detail, I'm going to go ahead and give my objective perspective on the movie and situation now. Here we go. So, Ma may have been right, or had a point, at least, in acting out the way she did. Like I said, she essentially stayed stuck in that moment of the cruel prank for the rest of her life. She never got past it, and I never experienced something quite like that. But I'm sure it's easy to get stuck on something like that. Everybody's mind works different, and that's what happened to her was essentially molestation in a way. Some people will overlook that still, and I'm not saying that it's an excuse to be an obsessive killer by any means, especially when it comes to kids. But I feel like in this day and age, and with everything going on, like with people mentally, like school shootings and everything, I just feel personally that things and people like this need a bit more attention. We just had the school shooting in Colorado. I think that was May, and because the kid claimed that it was over gender taunts. People were calling him a girl, but and then we had one shortly before that, I think in February. But it can be hard to understand or get through to some people, because people tend to be defensive when it comes to sensitive topics. But I feel like us as a people in general may need to try a bit harder to be relatable and understanding, and maybe we can get through those mental walls in order to invoke healthy conversation, and so we can all grow together. If I hadn't made it apparent why this is all prevalent to my perspective on a movie, here's why. Like, there were several moments in the movie where people, including old friends of Ma and people that she went to school with, ran into her and had a chance to rectify the way that they acted toward her in their involvement with the prank. And not one of them did. Not a single one. Even after getting a glimpse of Ma's obsessive mental state, still nothing. There was even one point in the movie where the guy that played the trick on her into going to the closet with someone else had found out Ma was hosting the parties that his son was attending. He tracked Ma down, and when he found out, he met her at a bar instead of trying to understand her and why she was doing what she was doing and rectifying the whole situation or apologizing. He went on to go off on her and tell her she was always a weirdo and a loser and make threats.
I think you're trying to get back at me. How about we both know you had a thing for me and I barely gave you the time of day? You're a loser, Celine. You always have been, and it's pathetic.
To me, this was a chance for a now grown man to possibly give someone who was clearly hurting the closure that she needed. Especially knowing that he was a big part of her pain. And he potentially could have saved her life and many others, which to me was a deciding factor of how I would feel about the movie and Ma's actions in it. Like I said, I'm not condoning murder no matter what the person's mental condition is, but after comparing her character to the characters of others in the movie, I definitely wasn't against her. We even found out at one point in the movie that Ma has a daughter who she keeps hostage and drugged in the house because of her own self-loathing. All I'm saying is a little rectification of one situation, or taking the time to understand one person or outcast that you feel might truly need healing or just an ear, might save a life or more. That's what Ma taught me. We all have to do a bit better. It's really not hard or uncommon nowadays to become detached or a bit off the rocker. I mean, you could just go on the internet and do a simple Google search and find out some things that could potentially blow your mind and have you reanalyzing a lot of the other information that you've received throughout your lifetime, and send you down a never-ending rabbit hole. So it's just that simple sometimes. So I feel like we should all keep that in mind. This world, as it is now, needs healing, and we should all take every opportunity we get to help someone heal. That's what I learned from Ma. With that, this is StephThirdy. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out. Y'all be easy.
You're a loser, Celine. You always have been, and it's pathetic. Some people just don't change, do they?
No, they don't. You're no man, Ben Hawkins.
What the fuck is that? Yes. Please, Celine. I was just a kid.
So was I, motherfucker.
No.